Hi, welcome to Another Year Bolder. My name is Jamie. I'm currently on a weight loss journey and a get fit, get healthy journey. So a fit by 50 journey, as you can say, following the diet-free life method. Today, I'm going to show you 2 meals that I've turned into a fat burning plate. Let's get started.
Today, I'm going to be making fall off the bone Crockpot barbecue or Hawaiian BBQ chicken drumsticks. So I'm going to use Sweet Baby Ray's Hawaiian BBQ sauce. I don't know if I'm gonna use 1 or 2 bottles yet. We're gonna see how it goes. And then I have chicken drumsticks. I think I have about 14 to 16 of them in there. I meant to separate them and only cook half, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and cook all of them. I have some garlic powder. I have onion powder, sea salt, parsley, black pepper, and Tony Chachere's, which is my Cajun seasoning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the chicken open, dump those in the crock pot, and then add all the seasonings. They are still a little bit frozen, but that's okay. I'm gonna put them all in here the best I can, as separated as I can. There is a lot of them. Normally I would do half, but because I stuck them straight in the freezer right when we got home, yeah. I had to thaw them all out together. So I'm just gonna do it like this. And it's okay if they're stacked on top of one another. I'm gonna load them down with seasoning and barbecue sauce and then mix them up. Okay, that's all of them. I'm just using Sweet Baby's Ray honey. No, not honey. I'm using Sweet Baby's Way baby. I can't say it. Sweet Baby Ray's Hawaiian barbecue sauce, just because I wanted it to have a little bit of a sweet taste to it. I thought about adding some pineapples for that. And then when I saw the Hawaiian barbecue sauce, I was like, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I am gonna probably end up using at least 1.5 bottles of this barbecue sauce, just because I have so many drumsticks in here. And this container is only 18 ounces, so it's not a very big bottle. All right, let me go ahead and get the seasonings in there. I'm gonna start with the Tony Chachere's. Just season this however you want. Add black pepper. And I do have training today, so this is gonna cook on low for 7 hours. My training class is 6 hours, so this should finish, because I don't start class for another 1.5 hours. So this should finish just a little bit before my class does, which is fine. My crock pot will automatically, that was parsley by the way, and this is salt. My crock pot will automatically jump it to warm once it's done. And then my husband has an early day at work today, so he'll be home around the same time that it's ready. And then this is the onion powder and the garlic powder. Now I am going to mix this up and add a little bit more. Okay, I'm just giving this a pretty good mix because I want the barbecue sauce and the seasoning to be on all of them. And throughout the day today while it's cooking, I am going to come out here like whenever we take our breaks in the training, because remember I do work from home. I'll come out here and I'll mix this up just to make sure everything's getting cooked evenly. And by the time it is cooked, it should all fall off the bone. And then I will show you the sides I'm pairing it with to make this a fat burning meal. All right, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more seasoning and hopefully I can get a little bit more barbecue sauce out of that container. Let's see how much more I can get out of this container. I'm still gonna use the other one because there's another part at the end, so I'll probably go ahead and open it. Yeah, I'm not getting much more out of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the other one really quick. Okay, so I did mention there's another part at the end when this is done. I'm gonna put them in the oven just so they can broil a little bit and get a little, you know, seared or crunchy on top, whatever you wanna call it. There we go. I think that's enough because I do still need more barbecue sauce at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna re-season this layer because you gotta season every layer. I got my Tony Chachere's. I got my black pepper. You put however much you like. I'm not measuring anything. My parsley, just because we add parsley to everything. Our 3 ingredients we almost always add are 4: Tony Chachere's, black pepper, salt, and parsley. And this is my salt here. And then I'll have my onion powder and my garlic powder. Okay, giving this one last mix and then I'm gonna put it on low and set it for 7 hours.
Just want to make sure the seasoning is all over these drumsticks. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me go ahead and get it set. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on and I'm gonna set it on low. And I'm gonna do this 7 hours. And don't forget, I do work from home, so we'll come back and toss and turn these. I don't know if you can hear that. So I do work from home. I can come and toss and turn these on each of my breaks, and I'll do that just to make sure that everything is cooked evenly. But there you go. They have been cooking for a little over an hour, and they've been on warm for probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes at that. You can see they're already falling off the bone. I am going to leave them in here on warm while I make the sides, and my husband will be home from work soon. That way it stays warm for him. For my green beans, I've already drained the cans and I'm making macaroni and cheese. Got some butter melting and I'm warming up the water for the mac and cheese. It's gonna be a really simple dish. I was gonna put the chicken in the oven and broil it, but since they're very fall off the bone right now, I'm not gonna do that. I've drained my green beans and I've melted some butter. And these are just the, fresh cut green beans, no salt added. Only because my husband's trying to watch his sodium, so I will add some salt. But I won't add a lot, that way he can determine how much he wants. So I'm adding some salt now. And it's just Redmond sea salt. I can't even speak. I'm gonna add some parsley because we put that in everything. I got black pepper. Got Cajun seasoning, which is my 20 sachets. I'm gonna go a little light on that, not too heavy because I can't handle all the spice. And then I have some garlic powder. And then all I'm gonna do is just fry this on medium-high until they're fully done. And actually I'll probably put it a little bit lower because the macaroni and cheese is gonna take a little while. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the seasonings. I'm not gonna add any more Tony's because again, I cannot handle the spice, but I'm gonna add a little bit of everything else. All right, just adding some more garlic powder, some more pepper. Definitely add some more parsley. And then some more salt. All right, that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it to low. That way it'll take a little bit longer to cook and it'll probably be done before the macaroni and cheese, but that's okay. Just give this a good mix and I'm gonna let it saute here on the pan. These are the best green beans if you've never eaten them this way. Oh, definitely try it. I've got the water boiling, so I'm just gonna add 2 boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Sometimes I use Annie's or Ann's, whatever, but I prefer the Kraft one. So I'm just gonna let these noodles boil. And then I'll add milk, black pepper, salt, and parsley to it, along with some butter, and then obviously the cheese stuff. The green beans are done. I just have them on low right now, so that way they stay warm until I can get the macaroni and cheese done, which it's almost done too. It's about to overflow. All right, the macaroni and cheese is done, so I'm just gonna add some butter now. It's a little bit more than 4 tablespoons, but it says 4 tablespoons per box. I'm not putting that much butter in here. And I'm also gonna add, actually, let me start adding the cheese, and then I'll add the milk, because that butter is gonna help this cheese dissolve. So I got 1 packet of the cheese in there. I'll go ahead and give this a good mix. And then I'm gonna add the 2nd package of cheese. Don't worry, I'm gonna mix this a lot more. And I'm gonna add a little bit of milk. I'm gonna start with a little bit of milk and work my way up to more. Because I don't want it to be watery. I do want all that cheese to get infused in there, and I don't want any clumps, if at all possible. Okay, I added just a little bit more milk. I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, and some parsley now. And I'll see if I need to add anything else once I get this mixed pretty well. I'll go ahead and get a decent amount out. There we go. And I'm gonna add the salt. Okay, I'm gonna mix this. then I can tell you it's probably gonna need a little bit more of everything, but that's okay because I wanted to see where I was. All right, I did taste it. I'm gonna put just a little bit more salt, not too much. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit more black pepper as well. And then I'm gonna add a decent amount more parsley. Everything else is good. I don't need any more butter and I don't need any more milk. All that's good. Okay, I'm gonna give this a stir too. I love eating my macaroni and cheese this way. If I wasn't on this meal plan trying to lose weight, I could eat a whole bowl of this and I would be perfectly happy. All right, this is all mixed. Let me get it plated. All right, here we have it. So this is my fat burning plate. This is gonna be my lunch, which is why I'm having a fast carb. So the fast carb is the macaroni and cheese, the slow carb is the green beans, and then the protein is the chicken. And I'm gonna eat it just like this. But I can tell you what, I could easily substitute the macaroni and cheese for biscuits or cornbread or mashed potatoes, and that would be awesome. Or I could substitute the green beans for maybe a cucumber salad or a regular salad, maybe some cauliflower, some steamed broccoli, whichever one. But this is how I'm going to eat it. And normally I would put that chicken back in the oven and broil it, but because it's falling off the bone so easily, I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna give it a taste and let you know what I think. Don't mind my wild, crazy hair. I just got out of class. I literally rolled out of bed, got my husband ready for work, got the dogs ready, took a bath, went to class. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this chicken, which I can barely get to stay on my fork. So let's see how this goes. I haven't made it like this before, so this is the first time I'm trying it. I'll let you know. It's very tender, very decadent. The barbecue sauce, I love the sweet Hawaiian barbecue sauce. It gives it just a slight bit of sweetness, not too much. It's very, very good. I'm gonna go enjoy this plate and relax. Today I'm gonna be making baked spaghetti casserole. For this, you're gonna need some noodles, butter, ground meat, shredded cheese, cream cheese, petite diced tomatoes, spaghetti sauce, a sour cream, and cottage cheese. And then of course, any seasonings that you want to add to it as well. I am going to be using whole wheat spaghetti, but you can use any kind of spaghetti noodles. I am going to double up the recipe that I'm going to be putting in the description. That is just because I'm going to be busy over the next couple of days. And I want to make sure that when my husband gets home from work, he can just put something in the microwave, warm it up, and I can do the same because I have class and I'll be preoccupied and won't be able to make dinner. So this is gonna be something that's gonna last us a couple of days. Okay, I have the meat in the sauce on low, and I'm gonna add my noodles in, but when I add my noodles, I always break them in half. This just helps when you go to eat it and when you go to put it in the actual casserole dish. So I'm gonna use the whole box, breaking it in half, and then I'm gonna season the sauce in the ground. I did also add some salt to my water. It's not boiling yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this in there because it should start boiling soon. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and season the sauce and the ground meat. I have some garlic powder. I'm gonna put a good bit in both. And normally I would use onions, however, I am out of onions. So I'm gonna use some minced onions for both. So I would normally dice up a white onion and put that in here as well. And I'm gonna go pretty generous with this. Okay, next I have some 20 sachets. I'm just gonna put a little bit in each one. A little bit goes a long way for us, but if you want more, add more. And then I have some black pepper. I do not use Italian seasoning or oregano. My husband and I do not like it. So I just don't use it. And then I have sea salt. And as you can see, I am seasoning the stove per usual. Add some parsley, and I'm running low on this. But I'm gonna put as much as I can in each one. There we go. And then I have some chives. And I'll probably add some chives to the sour cream, cottage cheese, and whipped cream mixture as well. I'll probably add a little bit of seasoning all around to that. Okay, so I have them both seasoned pretty good. Let me go ahead and get them mixed in there. And then I'm gonna put a lid on this one, and you're just gonna cook your spaghetti sauce, your ground meat, and your noodles as if you were making spaghetti, but you're only gonna cook the noodles until they're al dente. So just boil them for about 10 minutes and keep the sauce on low. It is all gonna cook in the oven further because it's gonna go in there for about 30 minutes. All right, if you heard all that clickety clack, that was my dog walking across the floor. So I'm gonna mix up the seasonings inside the ground meat. So that's pretty mixed. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of this cooked while I'm cooking this. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of this cooked while I'm cooking this. I'm gonna make the cream cheese and sour cream mixture. Oh, there was one thing I forgot. Hold on. Focusing on my dog and I wasn't paying attention. So I'm gonna put the diced tomatoes in there. You can use 1 can, but I'm gonna use 2 because this is our slow carb. You can still pair it with another slow carb. But the diced tomatoes are the slow carb. And I think this might almost overflow it. It came very close. Let me get this mixed in. So you don't have to use this. It's just something I like. So let's see if I can get this in there. I should have used a bigger pot. But you know what? We're gonna make this work. While all of that is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and put the mixture together. So I have my cottage cheese here, and remember I am doubling the recipe that's going in the description. So I am gonna use all of the cottage cheese. Every last drop that I can get out of here is what I'm gonna go for. Because I love the cottage cheese. Okay, I'm gonna start with the sour cream now, and I am gonna use both of these. And I just get the little, whatever, these 8 ounces, because it makes it easier for me to scoop in there. All right, this is the second sour cream. You can use regular cream cheese. I like the whipped one just because it's a lot easier to mix in. Let me go ahead and give this a little bit of mix real quick. Okay, I'm gonna mix this in just a little bit before I add the sour cream. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mix this in just a little bit before I add the cream cheese. So I can get it, there we go. Okay. Now it is time for the whipped cream cheese. And this is just gonna mix in there very easily. But again, you can use the square package or anything you want. All right, perfect. I have it all in there now. I'm gonna add just a little bit more seasonings. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Not a lot, just a little bit. A little bit of salt because I do like to kind of season every layer as I go. A little bit of pepper. Definitely gonna add my parsley. And then last, my chives. My dog is running around the kitchen, so you probably hear her, or the dining room, I should say. All right, now I'm gonna mix this all in pretty good, or pretty well, I should say, until well combined. The mixture is very well combined now. I'm just gonna leave it sitting on the counter while the rest of it is cooking because I wanna make sure that it's gonna be easily spreadable. And I'm gonna go ahead and set my oven to 350 degrees so that can be ready because everything else is on. All right, my meat is cooked, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour half of the sauce in there, which will help me get the rest of it mixed a little bit better. And the other half of the sauce is gonna go in the noodles. So I already made a huge mess with this. As you can see, making more of a mess, but that's okay. Okay, so I've got a big old mess right there because I never claimed to be a clean cook. I'm a messy cook. I'm gonna get this mixed in really well. Switch spoons. If I need to add more, I will. I did not drain my meat because I always love to have the meat juice in there. Just adds an extra punch of flavor. All right, so this is good and mixed. As soon as those noodles are done, I'm gonna add the rest of the sauce to all of those noodles to make sure that they stay nice and smooth. The noodles are ready, so I'm gonna put the rest of the sauce in there. And because I made such a big mess before, I'm gonna do it away from the camera. I'm trying not to hit it. There we go. Okay, got all of it out. And I'm going to give the noodles a good mix to make sure this sauce is covering all of them. And then we're going to get them ready to put in the oven. There we go. That looks really good. Everything is ready. The oven just beeped. I'm going to try to do this without my husband's help, but I may have to call him over here. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to call him over. All right, he's getting up. He's going to come help me. So what I did is I put about 2 to 4 tablespoons worth of butter on the bottom of the pan. And you just want to put that at the bottom. That way it'll cook through with the noodles and it'll mix in later. All right, my husband's here. He's going to help me. We're going to start with this pan first. So just lean that over this pan a little bit. I only want half of the noodles to go in there. Just lean it over and I'll put it in with a spoon. Okay, now go back it up to the other pan. Now go ahead. He's helping me because I cannot lift this and get all these noodles out as evenly as I want. I think that's all of them. Double check. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is spread on the sour cream cheese cottage cheese mixture. And then he's going to help me do the exact same thing with the meat. I'm going to put the cream cheese mixture in both of them. I'm just going to do it in big clumps to try to get it as evenly as possible. I'll be spreading these out in just a second. My husband's behind me playing with the oven bits, so ignore me if I start laughing. All right, I want to try to get all of this out. I got the majority of it, so let me smooth this over. Each one. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can tell you that this one right here I'm working on has more of the mixture in it than the other one does, but that's okay. Just gonna smooth it evenly. As evenly as I can get it. This one that I have on has less noodles and it has less mixture, so it actually kind of works out really well, but it's still gonna work. And I think these pans are 9 by 13 and all the meat's gonna go in here too. All right, we have the ground meat. We're gonna start with this pan first. My husband's gonna pour it over like he did the pasta. You can figure out how to grab them. You got it? Okay. You're gonna have to dump it more, tilt it more. There we go. Okay, stop. Now go over that one. Go ahead, tilt it more. Okay, I got it. You can stop. I know it's hurting his hands, so I'm trying to do this as quick as I can. Sorry. He got his hands stuck. I try not to laugh. Oh, that was funny. Sorry, babe. All right, so I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the cream cheese mixture. I am just evening it out. And you can see this one is almost overflowing because it has more noodles. It has more cream cheese mixture. So it's going to be a little bit higher than this one. They are ready to go in the oven. They're going to go in at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. I'm going to pull them out, add some shredded cheese, and then they're going to go back into the oven. These have been in there for 30 minutes. I've decided I want to just use cheddar cheese. If I don't have enough, I'll add the mozzarella. But I do prefer the spaghetti casserole with either cheddar cheese or Fiesta cheese. And since I only have cheddar, that's what's going to go on here. I'm going to put a decent amount on each side, but I want to make sure I have enough first to cover each one. And then these are going to go back in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm going to check it and make sure that it's melted before I take it out. I'm trying to get the rim without spilling it over there. And if you're new to me, I am a very messy cook. Every time you see me cook, I'm going to make a mess, so plan on that. All right, this one is looking pretty good. Trying to get some more around the edges. I'm gonna add some more right here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have enough to just use the cheddar. Now again, like I said, you can use the mozzarella. I just happen to prefer the taste of the cheddar over the mozzarella for this dish. And I'm gonna add one more thing to the top. I did already add chives, but I decided I want to sprinkle just a little bit more to the top to make it look pretty. You do not have to do this last option since it's all up in the spaghetti casserole already. But I'm going to do it for fun. All right, now my husband is going to take these and place them back in the oven for me, 10 to 15 minutes. These are finished. We did just put them back in there for 10 more minutes, made sure the cheese was melted, and then we took them out. I'm going to plate them into a fat-burning meal, even though by themselves they're fat-burning because the ground meat is the protein, the noodles is the fast carb, the slow carb is the petite diced tomatoes, and then the fat is the cream cheese mixture and the shredded cheese on top. Had you added onions, that would have also been a slow carb, so you could eat it just like this. But if you've been here a while, you already know I'm going to put a side with it. Sorry, my husband's acting like a statue because I'm recording. All right, here is the plate. Here's the fat burning plate. So again, the noodles are the fast carb, the protein is the ground meat, the fat is the cream cheese mixture, and then the slow carbs are the lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. And then I have some balsamic vinaigrette dressing on the side. And I have had this multiple times. It is delicious, but I'll go ahead and try it out, get in front of you. Make sure that it still tastes just as good as I remember. He said, It's been a really long time since I've had this. Like, probably 2 or 3 years. I don't know why, because it tastes so good. It's one of my favorites. Of course, they're all one of my favorites. It's really hot. Can you see the steam coming off of it? So good.
Yeah, this again.
He said, yeah, we want to have this again. The creamy mixture in the middle, it's perfect. Make sure if you make this, you do split up the sauce between the noodles and the meat. I have seen some people not put the sauce on the noodles and they put them in the pan first. I did that the very first time I made it. It came out very, very dry. So make sure you split the sauce up in between the two. And remember, the recipe is in the description, but I have doubled this recipe so we can eat this for the next few nights. Since we have such a busy schedule coming forward. Anyway, I hope you like this, and I'll see you next video. Bye. Thank you again for watching. Please go ahead and give this channel a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I post new content.